Welcome to the Board of Advisors podcast. We are here at the Q1 Summit, and I'm very excited to be here at the Ritz-Carlton, Las Colinas in Dallas, Texas. I am Cheryl Conner, and I am here with Marco Lopez, the CEO of MindTune. So congratulations. Glad to be here, and let's get started.
Thank you so much, Cheryl. I'm excited to be with you today.
It's going to be good. So MindTune, tell me a little bit about what it is.
MindTune is a peak performance strategy company. And for a long time, it was me, but we've got other coaches as well. And we help business owners, entrepreneurs, really peak performers in general to be able to optimize their minds for peak performance so that they can reach even higher levels of success.
But before you started MindTune,
Yes.
You had a successful career. You were in tech. I know where you were because I'm from the same region.
Yes.
And so you had a steady salary. It was pretty successful. And you gave it up. Why?
That is a great question. Yeah, that takes me back a little while. Well, you know, I was at Qualtrics, which was a company that eventually sold for, I think, $7 billion, and then more than that after that. So we were going in a good direction, and nobody left Qualtrics. I mean,
except you.
I mean, people weren't leaving Qualtrics. They just felt like it was the place to be. But I had been there 4 years, and we had a tragedy in my family. My wife at the time called me and was just beside herself, you know, screaming. Her brother had taken his own life, and she was cutting him down. I mean, it was a traumatic experience, and it was just a horrible experience for our family, and it really made me rethink everything. I talked to friends about it, and I think it felt for me like a midlife crisis, like an early midlife crisis, even though I was only about 30 at the time. And it just made me rethink everything. I had had previous experiences. For example, I was singing in Brazil. I had been singing in Brazil maybe 6 or 7 years earlier, where I had this beautiful moment sitting on a hilltop in Brazil, looking over the horizon and just feeling like I was doing exactly what I was supposed to be doing with my life, which was inspiring people, which was helping people and helping people to find more hope, helping people find more joy in their lives, and believe in a higher version of themselves. And I was doing it through singing. I was doing it through Spanish and Portuguese, and through my cultural connections that I'd established. And anyway, from using my background and making the most of my talents. And then when that happened in what was it? Anyway, whatever year it was, I just felt like I wasn't doing what I was supposed to be doing, and my motivation for staying at Qualtrics completely dropped.
So you left.
I left.
I left
because I left because I knew that my life was too short, and I was spending it doing something that other people could be doing, and only one person with my talents could do the things that I dreamt of doing.
Well, speaking of talents, you were professionally trained as an opera singer.
Yes.
And you had an experience, I recall you telling, where your voice broke on stage.
Yes.
And you apparently didn't go back to it for 20 years, a long time. Tell me about that.
Yes. So that was a very traumatic experience that I will never forget. And it was on stage in front of thousands of people in a concert down in Brazil. And I was singing the song from Les Mis, "Do you hear the people sing?" But on the high note, I was just, it was like, "Do you hear the people sing?" And I'm like, oh my goodness, it's so embarrassing. And then I got off stage and I'm like, what just happened? What happened? And I was trying to force it to come out. And the more I forced it, the tighter I got. And then I went on stage the next night to sing it again, and the same thing happened again.
No.
And so it was, and that was the start to just a complete loss of confidence in my voice. I didn't feel like I could like I could keep going. I didn't feel like I could. Anyway, the harder I tried, the worse it got. The worse it got. And it took me out of it. So I didn't do any serious singing for 20 years. Yeah.
Well, and I guess that may be what led to the thing I've heard you say again and again, and that's you don't force outcomes. It will never work.
It doesn't work. It doesn't work to force outcomes. You let go. There's a flow, I believe, Cheryl, there's a flow to life, and there's a flow to our own best results.
Right.
And if we can just get out of the way and let things happen the way they naturally will happen, or the way that we're inspired to move,
right,
then the best outcomes happen. And I was trying to force things, and the voice is such a great metaphor, because the voice has to be relaxed in order to be at its best.
Well, yeah. I find it interesting that here at BA, you're among people who are already highly successful. They are confident, they're successful, they've had all kinds of experiences. So given that you're speaking to people who, generally speaking, are already at their pinnacles or near, what are you bringing to them that is invaluable?
Well, it's this idea, Cheryl, that we're talking about letting go. Mm-hmm. A lot of people are in the mindset of grinding and trying harder and getting to that next level through willpower and through force, where what we don't realize is that peak performance is calm. Peak performance is calm, it's peaceful, and we're able to just flow from that place because we're in the zone. We're in a flow state when we're in that place. And that it's counterintuitive, because a lot of times if we want to get to that next level, we think that we have to push harder, but actually it's calming down. It's taking time to be still so that we can hear something bigger within us guiding us. And so that's, if we can quiet the conscious mind, if we can delegate those thoughts to the subconscious mind, to that wiser mind that knows more, then we increase overall efficiency. Mm-hmm. We're able to focus on the most important things, and then we're able to add more value, which leads to more revenue, more income.
If hard work could do it, we'd all be there.
That's
just
right.
work harder, but that's not the secret.
It's not the secret. No, it's like we are in this human body, and that we need to learn how to work with. So we do need to take action, and we need to do things if we want to be successful. I mean, that's definitely part of the equation. But the people who make it at extraordinary levels are the ones who learn how to be quiet and let things come. It's like we're tapping into a higher wisdom, a higher intelligence, the highest version of ourselves when we're calm.
And you have a program that leads into this. You have a program, and I'd like to hear what that program is and how you've defined it.
Yes, awesome. Well, the program is called the Mindful Optimization Method, better known as MOM. And it's a program that we've been teaching for a long time. I mean, when I got into this, I started off teaching Bob Proctor's thing, but then MOM is a combination of my own personal experiences with things that I'd learned from my mom, from my dad.
Yeah.
It's like this information has been in our roots for a long time, but I felt like I needed to get it out. And so it's a compilation of all these ideas that help people get into flow state. So it's all about helping people reduce stress and anxiety, then improve overall efficiency and productivity. And then finally, that leads to improving income and profitability.
Speaking of which, you've talked about people that you've counseled who've doubled, tripled their income, doubled their efficiency. That's quite remarkable.
Yeah.
So how does that happen? And actually, what changes first? Is it the thinking, the energy, or the execution?
That's a good question. I was just talking to somebody about that this morning, because they are in the same company with somebody who I coached, who had just more than doubled his income, and through my coaching. He had just done that, and they said, So they said, I want what Mike got. I want what Mike did, right? I want what Mike's got. And so we were talking about it. A lot of people go straight for the money. They want to just make a direct leap into more money, but money is actually an effect, and the cause is these things that we're talking about. And so the cause is the mental state. As I was talking to this guy this morning, he was talking about how, well, we identified that his first step is to learn how to quiet his conscious mind, how to remove the subconscious blocks and the noise that's going on in his conscious mind, because that's going to lead to more efficiency, which leads to a higher level of service, which leads to more income. And so the thing that causes it all, the thing that starts it all, is when people can learn to be more still and learn how to trust more, trust their higher selves, which is hard for people though, because they at first they're going to feel like they're not being effective when their mind isn't going the way it's always been going.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and that's interesting. You closed the deal.
Yeah, I closed the deal this morning. That's right. Yeah. So he realized that, and I think intuitively he knows that,
right?
Because he knows that has been his biggest challenges. His mind is always distracted, and so when we've got a busy mind, when we've got rush, when we've got pressure, when we've got fear or whatever going on inside of us, we're not efficient. We're going in all these different directions. We get into analysis paralysis, and it's kind of like we're paralyzed. We're not flowing. Kind of reminds me of like getting on a camera. Like when I remember when I started getting into this state of, or started coaching and started getting on camera, I would get on a camera and I'd be like, okay, hi, my name is Marco Lopez. Oh, I said something wrong. Okay, start again. Hi, my name is, and so you just don't flow. Yes. You start thinking about yourself, and you start starting again. So we want to get out of that. It's almost like you learn to not think and just trust, and then things just flow, and they flow very naturally. So we become many times better in everything. So this applies to athletes. It applies to musicians. It applies to entrepreneurs, speakers, singers, actors, anything. If you thought about it, you're going to mess yourself up. You've got to get into this flow state, learn to stop thinking so much and trust.
Well, that is interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Because in my line of work, I try to coach people, stop, count to 10, think about it, get in your best mind frame in that way. But this is an interesting aspect of that. It
is, yeah.
And you probably get much of your result from people who know others who've worked with you. Absolutely. And they've seen the outcome. They've observed it. That maybe says more than anything you could say about the effectiveness.
Yes, Cheryl, it's a big blessing, and I really appreciate it. I really appreciate those people who recognize the value and then they share it with others. And it's been an honor for me to be somewhat of a piece in their journey to help them get to the next level.
What do you think of AI? Has it got a role in this at all?
I love AI.
Okay, tell me why and how.
So it's interesting because when you learn how to use your mind more efficiently, then you have more access to your subconscious wisdom. All that, it's like a deep knowing within you of who you really are and what you're meant to do. And I call that your song. It's your deep, it's your inspired song. You hear people say, or you maybe heard the quote, you don't want to die with your music still in you or with your song still in you. So everybody's got a song. Everybody's got a purpose, that deep reason for being in their life. And if for a person who knows their purpose and knows their song, AI is the best thing in the world because they've got these visions. This is the way it was for me. I've got these deep visions. I've got deep aspirations. I've got this much bigger vision than I could ever do in my life. But AI came as a gift because it's like an accelerator. It has helped me to accelerate things, helped me to realize and actuate my visions so much faster because the transcripts come automatically. We can, I can take care of all the mechanical details through AI, and my vision is what AI could never do.
Yes.
So AI can't come up with a vision, but if you are somebody who has a vision for something higher, something more that you want to do in the world, then it's almost like you're orchestrating AI, and you can say, okay, move all these pieces, and then at the end of the day, you're further ahead than you were before.
So you're the maestro.
Yeah, you're the maestro, and you've got all these minions that you don't have to pay, and it takes care of all these things for you, and every day you're making incredible progress towards your vision. So The problem is with when people don't have that. If people don't have that vision, they don't even know. They don't have the vision for what they would do with AI.
So you work with clients globally.
Yes.
You're running your business.
Yes.
You are a parent of 5.
Yes.
What does stillness look like for you?
Stillness is taking one thing at a time in the order of its priority. So waking up in the morning and not just getting into my day, but taking that time to ask myself, what would be the wisest use of my time to move things forward today? And if I make that decision from a place of stillness, from a place of clarity, and then I prioritize my day with what are the most important things, and then I just be sure that I handle those things one thing at a time in order of their priority, then I can have confidence throughout the day that I'm always working on the most important things. And I can have a still mind as long as there's only one thing in my mind at a time, or one focus in my mind at a time. I get overwhelmed if I don't do that, because then I'm spread and I feel like I'm all over the place. But as long as I can do things, as long as I can stay in one thing at a time, then I can continue to flow and I can be present. I'm not perfect at it, Cheryl, but that definitely has.
Oh, you know a good coach.
It's multiplied my capacity many times, and that's what I try to help other people do.
That is great. So we're here at Q1 Summit at Board of Advisors. For people here and who are watching this later on, how can they go further? How can they connect with you in MindTune?
Thank you very much. Well, I would say connect with me personally first. So go to marcolopez360.com.
Okay.
And there you'll see, all the social medias. But then if you would like a free training on peak performance, how to help you, that will help you increase your overall profitability, starting with reduced stress and then improved efficiency, then I've got an amazing training to send you. You can just go there, click on contact, and send me a message with your full name and best email address, and we'll send you a training.
Great. Thank you. Thank you so much.
You're
I appreciate
welcome.
this conversation. And thank
Cheryl.
you, Board of Advisors.